Well, that's why we're looking for it. Assault and battery is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. It shows as a assaultive offense. Disturbing the peace is not an assaultive offense. It is a misdemeanor, an old-fashioned simple misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail, fine of up to $100. Simple misdemeanor is one that's punishable by only 90 days. It's alleged that on or about August 23rd of 2024, you assaulted someone named Thomas Mayer. And I couldn't find anything about it. There was no bond information sheet, no affidavit, so I couldn't tell anything about what happened. Disturbing the peace, and I say this about every day, doesn't matter who was right or wrong or who started it. Was there a quarrel, argument, or disturbance in a public place? That's what you would be pleading to. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Reed, you agree with that?
I am, Your Honor. The prosecutor had recommended fines, costs, and time served. He was arrested on this at his house.
How long were you in jail?
That day.
Yeah, that day.
All right.
He called law enforcement over near Branch County for a disturbance that a neighbor had tore up some property, and the officer said, "Hey, there's a warrant here." So he ended up going to jail for a little while.
All right. Well, tell me what happened with you and Mr. Mayer.
Yeah, so we had a verbal argument, and he steps at me, and I wasn't sure what he was going to do, so I grabbed him, I restrained him. He went to sleep, and after
Who is this guy to you?
So he works, so my father-in-law farms, I help my father-in-law, and he sprays chemicals on the crops for my father-in-law. So he was dropping chemicals off, and
What was the disagreement about?
so every time I see this guy, he's always calling names and just talking a lot. And yeah, excuse me, I've always asked him to stop, and he's always continued, so.
All right. Well, is he still working with your father-in-law? I wouldn't think so. All right. I'm over 1 day jail credit, 1 day. $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. That's Joe, why don't you check on that? Sounds like a little out there. All right.
I believe a $500 bond was posted, Your Honor.
Yes. I don't know if it's okay. 500 return balance. Let's see. I don't think you owe me any money. A lot of people owe me money today. Like everybody. No, you don't. Oh, okay.
It's hard to hear.
I can't see, but I hear all right. I can see pretty well. All right, that brings a closure to this matter.
Thank you. Would you like me to take that to the court?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Jordan, do you need an interpreter for anyone?
No.
We'll make a record. You've got a couple of no-shows.
Yes, I did call the hall. They haven't checked in yet, but I didn't recognize anybody, so.
All right, would you call for Mr. Jesus Alcantar?
He and Miss Nickerson were the only ones that hadn't checked in.
All right. Oh, this goes with it too.
Oh. There's no paperwork, but you still have to fill it out.
Yeah, I'm caught in two worlds. Sorry, Mr. Avia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No contact.
All right. Mr. Haley, why don't you come up and have a seat?
All right, let's talk about that. Judge Middleton's courtroom gave us one of those small-town hearings where a simple dispute between neighbors turned into a legal proceeding with just enough twists to keep it interesting. The case centered on a defendant accused of assaulting Thomas Mayer, but by the end it was pled down to disturbing the peace, as clear and careful in his explanation. Assaultive offenses carry harsher implications, but disturbing the peace is an old-fashioned misdemeanor, 90 days max and a fine up to $100. His way of breaking it down was classic Middleton, conversational and educational, making sure the defendant knew exactly what he was admitting to. The defendant explained that the whole incident started as a verbal spat with Mayer, who works for his father-in-law spraying chemicals on crops. According kept calling him names, and when Mayer stepped at him, he restrained him until he went to sleep. That description raised eyebrows, but Middleton didn't linger. He was more focused on whether the plea matched the elements of disturbing the peace. What stood out was how matter-of-fact the defendant was. Not evasive, not overly dramatic, just laying out his version of events with a hint of exasperation. The prosecutor had recommended fines, costs, and time served since the defendant had already spent part of a day in jail after being arrested on the warrant. Middleton went with the own 1 day in jail with credit for time served, plus a set of standard fees: $75 fine, $75 victim's rights fee, and $50 state cost. He even joked a bit about money, saying most people owed him something that day, but this defendant didn't. That light touch, half stern judge, half dry humor, helped wrap up what could have been a tense moment. The atmosphere overall was calm, if a bit quirky. Middleton kept things efficient, made sure the record was clear, and even asked about interpreters just in case, showing his attention to detail. What could have been an angry neighbor feud spilling over in court turned into a structured resolution, with the judge reminding everyone that disturbing the peace boils down to whether there was a public quarrel, not who threw the first insult. Time to break this one down. Judge Middleton kept the case grounded. The defendant told his story without spinning it into drama, and the final outcome was a measured mix of accountability and humor. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.